2001 GSXR 1000. Today we are working on this oil seal, replacing this oil seal. Now in later years they didn't have this ridge, they just had a bracket that went across the outside that held that oil seal in place. Unfortunately for this one, they put this ridge in here so it wants to come out from the inside. I really don't want to take the engine out, split the cases, dig the transmission out, go through all of that just to replace this oil seal, and then when it goes bad, have the next dude have to go through the same stuff. But I didn't like some of the janky fixes I saw online, so we're going to come up with a new one instead. Basically, bring it up to speed with later years. I'm gonna grind this lip off so the oil seal can come out from the outside. We can put the new one in, and then I'm going to fabricate a bracket that will rest in between these existing bolt holes for the pushrod cover that will hold it in place so it can be easily changed again next time and it won't be janky at all. So let's back up a little bit. From here we took off the clutch pushrod cover, removed the water pump, basically just undid the bolts that hold that in, removed a couple of sensors, got that out of the way. When we took the water pump out, we had to put fold a little towel up in there just to keep this grinding media material from getting into the crankcase. We don't want that. So also removed the front sprocket. So we should have pretty good access here. My plan is to use a Dremel with a cutoff wheel and also a variety of grinding implements. So I'm not sure exactly what's going to be the best to get that lip ground off in a nice smooth fashion, but we're going to find out. We're going to find out together. So step one is starting to take some of that material off, and then we'll see how it goes. You can see in there we were able to get that surface ground with just the cutoff wheel to a nice flat smooth surface, plenty flat enough to be able to put that bracket over the top here and hold that seal in. So again, this is the clutch pushrod seal, so that's what was leaking, and we'll be able to get this seal pulled out, get the new one put in after we clean all this up, and then to fab up our bracket. Before we pull that oil seal, I did some tracing and came up with a shape for our bracket. It's going to be about like that. So now we're going to transfer that onto this plate of 1/8 inch thick aluminum. Now that I have my template traced and our spots punched for the holes to be drilled, I'm going to drill the holes first, and then we'll go ahead and cut this out of the aluminum. I had to relocate a little bit, so the angles will be a little different. But after we got this surface cleaned up here, we did have to take a Dremel and just chamfer the edge of this, just bevel it a little bit so that when we put this seal in, it's not a sharp edge that's gonna tear that seal up. All right, so our bracket that we fabbed up here is gonna go right in there like that. Should help hold that seal in place. So we got our bracket in, water pump is back on, we got our sensor reinstalled down here. The only issue is once we put the cover back on, it's not going to put enough pressure on this plate. So we need a washer that's about 16 millimeters, big enough to slip just over the lip here and here. Whoop, don't do that. Ended up epoxying the washer to the bracket. That way it can't fall down in there and nobody will go to take their clutch cover off one day and be like, oh, where'd that washer come from? So now it is one piece. One last look. We got our washer epoxied on now, so it's nice and secure. You can see our bracket tucked in there behind the water pump. And we'll go ahead and put our pushrod and sprocket cover back on and she'll be ready for a test fire. We got our 4 main mounting bolts torqued down, reinstalled our sensor, reinstalled the shift linkage, got our coolant hose hooked back up, and that was it. So we'll get our coolant filled up, give it a test fire, make sure we don't have any leaks, and then we'll probably do an oil change just in case we got any metal shavings or anything in there. Make sure that we're good to go. So all in all, I'm happy with how it came out. We're still bone dry after the test run. I'll have to wait until spring to get it out and really actually like run it, but I don't feel like it's janky at all. I like this solution. I would do this again. It wasn't too much work. If you have any questions, leave them down in the comments. I'll get back to you. Otherwise, I will see you on the next one.